Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rapport with the Sailing podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again. I know that everybody's time is extremely valuable, and I am so grateful that you've chosen to hang out with me for a few minutes. I'm just going to jump right into this one. In my doom scrolling, I was instantly inspired because of two clips that were back to back. And the first one was a clip of Shia LaBeouf on Jon Bernthal's Real Ones podcast that he did not too long ago. And right after that was a clip of Bruce Lipton that it very closely correlates. I mean, the algorithm is super scary. AI is just getting out there, isn't he? Isn't it? This one hits real deep in the feels for me because Shia was pretty emotional, and I'm just going to get into it. He said, "It's difficult for a dude in my spot to receive love because I don't feel like I deserve it. And I wind up dipping on a lot of people even when they show up for me. And man, oh man, this is something that I can really relate to, something that super resonates with me because if you knew me as a younger person, you really wouldn't believe it now, but I have extreme social anxiety, and it's not just to the point where I feel drained in social situations, but I have like a serious phobia of being around people and what they think of me, or it doesn't really matter what they're thinking of me. Are they thinking of me at all? It's a pretty frightening idea because I have a pretty low opinion of myself. No matter how much work I do, it's getting better, but I think it has a lot to do with my past. I'm not a perfect person by any means, and because of my son and me trying to be a better person, it's only amplified. So it's something I'm super conscious of, and it brings me into this next clip that came up by Bruce Lipton. That's basically fear in your mind literally slowly degrades your body. Love and positive emotion is the answer to perfect health and a favorable outcome in your life. I know this to be very true. In those moments, those rare moments where I actually feel this and I'm free of the social anxiety, I get hungry for it and I want it more and more. I feel like Bill Murray at the end of Scrooged when he realizes what an a-hole he's been and how much he wants to change, and then sings with that. I think he should have put out an album. But anyway, Bruce goes on to say, if you take chemicals released by the brain in love and put that into a petri dish with cells, the cells grow beautifully. Now, if you take the chemicals that come out of the brain of someone in fear, take those chemicals and put them in a petri dish, the cells stop growing. When you're in growth, you're open to the world and you say, come on, bring it on. But when you're in fear or something comes into you, like anxiety, it closes it down. The chemistry of fear is what shuts down cells. Fear kills. It's not a mystery. It's simple. The mind is an interpretation of the world. It causes the brain to release chemistry that matches the interpretations to coordinate 50 trillion cells to live in that world. In your emotions, it's your perceptions, your beliefs. these are sources of the chemicals that end up controlling the genes. And this is a new science called epigenetics. Pardon me for butchering that one. But it makes me think so hard about how much of my life, and maybe yours, is dictated by fear. And it's unfortunate, but it makes me aware that of how difficult it is to take care of ourselves and how imperative it is for us to practice self-love. Whether we're good at it or not, being conscious of it is so incredibly valuable to living a joyful life, and not just for ourselves. For me personally, because I'm a parent, I, without a doubt, know that I'm an antenna broadcasting this energy and this beautiful, innocent, charming, handsome, charismatic, funny, innovative, thoughtful child of mine is also an antenna, and he is receiving that energy. And nothing has made me want to change more than seeing how I influence him. Makes me think of how the energy that my parents broadcasted when I was a child affected me, and there isn't a chance in the world that I want my actions to affect him. So I'm inspired to change. But if you don't have children, you are still broadcasting an energy. And I'm a firm believer in what you put into the world is what you get back. Like the Beatles said, the love you take is equal to the love you make. I've loved the Beatles since I was a child, and I don't know why, but since I was 6 or 7 years old, that's something that's been running through my head for the longest time. Probably because Abbey Road was such an amazing album. But that's something that stuck with me. And they had it right all those years ago. And this is something that I've, within the last, 9 years of my life, I've been super conscious of. And I'm so fortunate to have that example in my son. So, as I do with every podcast, I'm not a therapist. I don't have a lot of life experience outside of my little bubble, especially since as I've grown older, I've went from this like boisterous, outspoken, loud person, and my world has kind of shrunk to the point where it's a lot about me and my son. But as he gets older, I see a lot of who I was in him, and I'll say it a million times, he's my hero. I watch him become friends with everybody. When we're at the ice rink, he talks to everybody. He'll sit on the bench. He'll strike up a conversation. If somebody falls, he will just beeline it right over to them to ask them if they're okay. He usually gets there before the ice chaperones do. I don't say that to get anybody in trouble, but he does. He cares about people, and He's my hero. I want to be more like him. I definitely want to be more and more like my son. He inspires me to the nth degree. I love him. I want to be more like him. So what I identify in him is his lack of fear, because of how his mother and I have nurtured that in him. And in this moment right now, it reminds me that I need to love myself like I love my son. And literally, that's not in my notes. That's just something that came to my mind. That's a lot of why I do these podcasts, so that, because it's really me talking to myself in here. I get some feedback from you guys, and that's wonderful. But yeah, all of us do. If you're hurting, just imagine how you would love somebody else, and treat yourself that way. I mean, I've heard so many times, like, take yourself out for dinner, or take yourself out to a movie. Don't be afraid of doing that for yourself, and don't be ashamed of being just with yourself. And I've learned to be comfortable with that, simply because the thought of having dinner with somebody else terrifies me. But I need to take it a step further, and I need to love myself the same way and as much as I love my son. And I'd like to say to you, and I'd like to say it to myself, and eventually believe it, but I want to say that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because I know how hard it is to take care of yourself. And I just want to tell you that I love you, that I see you, I hear you, I understand you, and you are not alone. So I want to put that out there. I want to encourage you to love yourself, and you've got a lot of love to give. It's just a matter of realizing that. And I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to myself. And I want to thank my son for inspiring me to realize that, because I'm on this side of the soil. I've got air in my lungs, so that means it's not too late. And it's not too late for you either. And with that being said, I hope you have an amazing day. Tell yourself, go to the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. And treat yourself with a whole lot of love today. And because today is all that we're guaranteed if you're watching this. So with that being said, thank you for sticking with me. I hope you come back tomorrow, because I'll be here. And I love you. Have a great day.